they asked me to talk on this financial management basics. Right. So what do you think about this financial management? So I thought it can be interactive rather than me going. I have a lot of slides, it will be boring to you also. I don't want to intend a lot of slides, but I have a lot of slides. I can also do that, but I don't want to do that. Right. So let it be there. So what do you think is this financial management? And what is this financial management for NGOs? What do you think you don't know that I'm going to tell you something new? I don't think I'm going to tell you anything new. Because right from our young age, we have been using money. My father used to give me money. Now I am earning money. Right? So I've been spending that money, and my father used to ask me, "Hi, I've given you so much of money, what you have done with your money?" So I used to tell him that you have given me 100 rupees and this is what my account is. Right? Same thing I am doing now also. The only thing is that my father used to give money, now I am earning my own money. And I am giving now to my son and asking him what you have done with the money that I have given to you. That's what is finance. I don't think it's like a Kambasutram. I don't think it's a great thing that we don't know that I am going to tell you something new. I don't think so. What do you think? You also think in the same manner, whatever I said? We can be a bit vocal, we can talk. Correct? What I said is right, madam? Right? So there is nothing actually. So financial management is actually nothing. It just says that when I get money means what? There are some people who are giving me money. And that can be my own self. I am earning my own money. That can also be there. So there are some sources of funding. Some people are giving me money. Some donors are giving me money, or I am raising money. See, now we have a lot of fundraising options available, right? Not only for NGOs, for everybody. There are crowdsourcing, crowdfunding which is available, right? So people are coming now at our doorsteps and they are asking whether you need money, you need loan, right? So there are some people who are giving me money, and with that money, I am putting that in use. What is the use here? I have my project. That is the use. So maybe some money is coming as a project specific money. So you use this money only for this particular project specific money. There is some money which is coming to me which is not a project specific money. It is a money and I can use it for anything I want. As simple as that. So I have some sources of money and I am going to use that money in this particular project. So this project is having its own uniqueness, right? Maybe depending on what project we are talking about. So maybe some assets I create. Of course, I will come to that word assets, right? I create some assets. Money itself is an asset. Cash itself is an asset, right? So what is an asset? Any idea? What is asset? Porul. Okay. Porul is asset. Yeah. Okay, so that can be a movable. You are talking about a property, right? Movable property, immovable property, right? I have some buildings, so this is also my asset, right? And I am using some materials, so this is also an asset, right? So asset means it's anything that I invest from which I am expecting some future benefit. There should be a benefit, right? Suppose I have a son, and he is not in future taking care of me, he is not an asset to me. There is no future benefit. He is only taking care of himself. He is not taking care of me, which means that he is my liability, he is not my asset. Right? So asset is something which has to give me future benefit, but here we are talking about future economic benefit. That is the only difference. Economic wise, money wise, it has to give me some benefit. Future economic, that's what is called asset. So I have lot of sources. These sources are what are called as liabilities, because these sources is not essentially mine. I am getting it from somebody else is giving me, and I am using that for creating my assets. So I have liabilities, I have assets, right? So when I talk about financial management, it is not something very, very great, but it is something very, very important, very, very crucial. Though it is not great to know, it is important to know, because all of you are sitting here only for money. If money is so simple, why should you come here? Right? It is not that simple. It appears to be simple, but managing that is not simple. பொருளில்லார்க்கு இவ்வுலகம் இல்லை, right? அருளில்லாதவர்க்கு அவ்வுலகம் இல்லை. So you need money, and there are some sources that I have which will give me money, and I need to manage that money. Managing is different from spending. Am I correct? So I can spend my money in whatever way I want, I can spend my money. But am I managing that money? Which means that I have a greater responsibility on my shoulders to take care of that money. So for whatever is the intended purpose for which I have actually got the money, am I using that money for that particular purpose? And whether I am getting the benefit that I wanted to have. That's what Professor Sundar was talking about, output and outcome. There will be output, right? If there is any input, there will be an output. It can't go anywhere, right? I started talking and you are hearing it. There is an input from my stomach, there is an output, that's my voice. If input is there, output has to be there. But what is important is not output, outcome. After I talk, is there anything that is happening in you? Are you thinking about it? Is it useful? That is outcome. Output is my sound, that is my output, right? That anybody, people just speak, people just hear. But are you putting that into use by thinking? That is called outcome, right? Fine. Anyway, let me go with this slides. Since I put in some slides, let me use some of them. See, this is finance and NGOs. See, what is the problem with finance and NGOs means, when I generally talk about finance, right? NGOs are a special category, right? You are all special category, okay? So, because normally we look at NGOs in a different fashion, but essentially they are all same. The only difference here is that you are getting money from the donors and you are going to use it for some service purposes, right? And you measure that service also to some extent. But normally in the case of the companies, they get the money and they use the money to manufacture something. You are not manufacturing anything, you are giving services, right? It's a service organization. So whenever you talk about service, which is an intangible, I cannot see the service, right? I can only unarada mudiyum, I can only experience the service, I cannot see the service. But in the case of manufacturing, I can see the product. So that is the tangibility is a great difference that we have. And in the case of NGOs, especially what is happening, all you people, I am very sorry, so sorry, I thought I will not get anything, I am sorry, I just put this off. See, normally in NGOs, you are the people who are very much interested in, to do something for the society, right? So in that, you forget about what has come, what has gone, where are we, you forget about it. Of course, there are some people who are with you, who are taking care of that cash. There will be some accountant you may have, right? He may use to write something, he might have forgotten something to write, he would have added something, 1 0 he would have added, right? That would have costed so many things, right? But you don't have time, because basically you will be in the camp, you will be in the village, right? You will be helping the people, right? You do not know what is happening, right? It is not that he is doing fraud, I am not trying to say that, right? Maybe you don't have that much time or interest or energy, right, to look into what is happening in your money, right? That is the problem with NGOs. So NGOs most often do not consider financial management to be a priority. That's not a priority to you. The priority to you is, where is funding? That is priority. If funding is not there, obviously you cannot do anything. Only if funding is there, you can do service. Otherwise, you cannot do anything, right? So funding is one problem. But what I am doing with that funding, right? Am I spending that in a way that I am supposed to spend? I should spend. Only if I am going to spend, I will get that benefit. But I should know where I am spending, for what I am spending, on what I am spending. Am I getting what I am supposed to get? Do we have all these? Do we have all these? In your organizations, do you have all these? You have, right? So I am not talking anything which is new to you. Okay, that's what I am again trying to say, right? Don't think that somebody has come and this fellow knows a lot of things. He is going to pour a lot of things onto me. Nothing, right? I am just going to speak to you, just for say 2 hours, and to tell you that you know everything. Okay, so knowledge is already there. The only thing is that there should be somebody who has to tell again and again that this is there. Then only you will think about, yes, this is there in my company also, right? This is more for that particular purpose. So very often, so this is often characterized by poor financial planning and inadequate financial systems in place. So you need to have financial system in your place. If you have that in place itself, you need not bother, right? So that will take care of itself. So very often NGO work effortlessly towards implementing projects that cater to the need of the deprived people. That's what you are all doing. And in this process, do not pay enough attention to the financial control, right? You forget about your money, what had happened. And was there any cost to overrun in your projects? Cost to overrun, I mean, your budget was say 1 lakh, but you spend more than 1 lakh, right? Maybe, but are you having that? In that experience, is it there with you? Have you done that? Sometimes it is happening, right? So sometimes you, whatever the budget, you go beyond the budget, because see, budget is only a number, right? It's just my assumption. I think this project I can run in say 2 crores, but it so happens that it has gone beyond 2 crores. So which means that your funding agency may not give you that money. It will tell you that only 2 crores is what I can give, only within that is what you are supposed to manage. It is your problem, it is not my problem. Now you may ask, what is that I have done? I am doing only good to the society. What is my problem? So your intentions are also good, and they also don't want to incur this sort of a cost, because you are not the only person. They have to give money to so many other people. If everybody is saying that there is 10% increase, 20% increase, then where is that they will go? Okay. 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 You can get. Okay, fine. But the time lag may be there, right? You have to write all these, maybe it will take some 3 months, 6 months or whatever for them to give money. But essentially, whenever we run a project, are we be in a position to running the project within that limit, within that money? Many times we could not do it, right? So this practice makes the NGOs vulnerable to financial losses. In the absence of proper backup plans and funds, NGOs are unable to cope up with the funding crisis. So that is what the problem with all NGOs. So you should realize that NGOs should realize that managing their finances is of critical importance, as they should incorporate these measures. So what is very important is 3 things. One is risk management. So risk management here means there is a risk of my project, whatever the money that has been assigned to me is not enough. That is also risk. It's called a business risk. So there is a risk, you need to manage the risk. Resource mobilization. You have to mobilize whatever the resources for that particular project within the money that is provided to you. And the third thing is that budgeting, right? Of course, I hope all of you know budgeting, right? You are all doing that because you are all practitioners, right? You have budgets. I hope you have the cash budget with you, right? Do you have that process? You have budgets, right? In all the NGOs, you have the budgets, right? So you have the budget, you sit with the budget, you see how much is the budgeted one, right? Whether it is coming within my budget or not, right? You do all those analysis, right? So that this leads to a sustainable enterprise. So world over, this is the word that people are using, right? Sustainability is a very, very important word. That's what people are using. Sustainability means your NGO should be there in future also. As simple as that, right? In next 10 years it should be there. In next 50 years it should be there. Next 100 years it should be there. You may not be there, because as humans we have our own defined lifespan, right? I can live only 70 years old, right? I am now already 48. So I have only 20 years to go, right? On an average. I can also live for 100 years, that's different, right? So we have our defined time period in this planet. But an organization can live longer. There are many companies which are 200. Barings Bank was 300 years old, right? Banyan Tree was there in Chennai, which was 300 years old, right? So you have other things which live longer. But sustainability here means it is not that in your lifetime, but also after your lifetime this NGO should be there and it has to help the people. That is what is called sustainability. So do I create that organization which will be there in future also, next 100 years it should be there, right, more than that. So the purpose of this session, whatever these 2 hours that we are going to talk, is to introduce NGOs to basic financial procedures and systems. I think and I hope that you already have them, right. You can please cross check whether you are having all these things in you or not. If not, maybe you can have, and if something else is there that you are doing that others are not doing, you can tell that also, because that is why all of you are here, right. All of you are here because it is a learning. Right. So when we talk about learning, there is one Sanskrit verse, very, very good verse. It says, Acharya padam adate, padam sishya swameyaha, padam sadbrahmacharibihi, padam kala pramenacha. It says, whoever is the teacher, he can be a great teacher. Acharya padam adate. Padam means 1/4. Whatever he teaching you, whatever these sort of training programs, only 25% is what you can learn or you will learn or I can give of your entire learning. I can give or anybody can give only 25% of that. So with 25% is a fail mark. 50 mark is a pass mark. So just if you are going to hear from the teacher or whoever it is, that teacher can be your parent also, anybody. It is only 25%. You will fail. Then the second line says, Padam Sishya Swameyaha. Sishya Swameyam, on your own. You need to go read, work, right? You need to think on your own. So that is going to give you 25% more. Then you can pass. Third, if you want to excel, if you want to get more than pass mark, Padam Sat Brahmacharibihi. You are supposed to talk to the like-minded people. One NGO talks with other NGO. Right, and there are some good practices that the other NGO is doing that you can use. There are many good things that you are using that they can use, right. So that symbiotic relationship, right, which is useful and beneficial for all. That's why we brought all of you here. Otherwise, why all of you must be here in one place, right? You can also have it online today. Online is available, so all of you can be in your own home and you can hear what it is. But that is only 25% and you will fail. We brought all of you here because you need to speak among yourselves, right? Do you know about all of you? Right? Of course, you would have come only yesterday, right? So maybe you have 2 days, 3 days time. So my request to you is that get to know all of them, because you will never know what you can learn from somebody else. There is always a space for learning, that is irrespective of the age, right? So get to know all of you, so it will really help you. So that is the third 25%. Then you become 75%, right? Then if you want to get 100 marks, it says, last line, Padam Kala Pramenacha. Only the time will teach you that 25%. Nobody else can teach you. So your own experience, your own time, it will teach you 25%. So when you talk about learning, so this is how learning happens, right? So the purpose of this session is to give you that only 25%, right? What are the procedures? And you need to learn from yourselves. Hey, what is that you are doing? What is that I am doing? How do I do budgeting? How do you do budgeting? Right? So what is happening in your NGO? What is happening in my NGO? Right? So what services that you give? Maybe both of you can join and give one service. Right? So 1 plus 1 is not always equal to 2. In management, 1 plus 1 is more than 2. It can even be 20, it can even be 200. It all depends on what sort of like-minded people that you have. So that is why all of you are here. So kindly use this time, talk, right? You need not talk about your family and all, right? Talk about business, right? What business you are in, what business I am in, how it has been happening, right? So that it will be helpful to all of you. Yeah. So so that it will be efficient. By implementing the procedures and systems mentioned in this, whatever the little guide that I am trying to give you, you will be able to manage your finances and accounts more completely and competently. So that is the idea. So if finances are not properly dealt with, obviously it will face the barriers that might have severe repercussions on its growth and development. Obviously you can't grow, right? We used to say in Tamil, no, Siruga katti peruga vaal. So we might think that whatever is the little sort of savings that we are making. Have you made any savings in your projects? Right? You made savings in your projects, right? So what do you do with the savings? There are two things. One is that, see, my PhD area, I did very similar to that. I also work with the Vishwakarma community, right? So I did work called Access to Finance for Micro and Small Enterprises. That is my PhD area. Okay. So I have chosen two clusters. One cluster is Swami Malai Icon cluster. You would have seen Swami Malai Sirpangal, right? So that are there in all temples. And second, I worked with Tanjavur art plate. So my basic work was access to finance for them. The same problem. Whatever that you are facing is what I also did research in. Right. The point that I am trying to say is that, so these people, they could not grow. They are very good at their art, but they could not grow. They could not develop. Because when you look at the market is not actually accepting you, or you are not in a position to tell the market that, hi, I am here. So people need to tell, that's what Professor Sundar also said. It is not that I being good. Today I need to tell, I am good. But our culture is something different. Our culture is, we never used to talk outside about us. If something is good, only others has to say that this is good. I don't want to say myself, I am doing this, I am doing this, I am doing this. But today it is changing, right? People are trying to brand themselves. People are trying to brand their companies. People are trying to brand their products, their services, right? So they want everybody to know what is happening, right? So that's where we are changing. So we need to change. So it is a process of planning, organizing, controlling, and monitoring. These are the four processes in any management. Planning, of course, all of us know what is plan. Second, organizing, right? It must be in an organized manner. But normally, we will not do it in an organized manner, right? All of us. Some idea has come, I will just take a paper, I will just note it down. Whatever I have noted down is what I will try to do. But it is not an organized way. So I put it that in an organized way, so it will be easier for me to manage and control. So many times I don't have control over many things. I thought today I will give food to 50 people. Okay. So I cooked for 50 people. 50 packets are ready. So I went to a particular place. I started distributing food. There are 5 people who are standing there. Will I say no to them? I have to say no to them because I have only 50 packets. So if I do that extra 5 packet of food, there is a cost. And I need to have money for doing that. But what I am doing is a service. So I cannot tell the 5 people, 10 people who are standing there and asking for food, there is no food. I need to do something, right? So I need to control. So whenever I make, don't make food for 50, make food for 60. But there will be a cost. That cost, I need to put that cost in my planning itself, right? Of course, we use different words. We use contingency. In management terms, we use a lot of things, right? You need to have contingency fund for that, right? You need to pad up all these things, right? We can do that. But the point here is very simple. I want to give the service, but I cannot say no because you are all in that service business. Basically, you want to help poor people. In that case, you can't say no. So in planning itself, you plan in such a way, then how do I know? I don't know. So what I should do, today we are talking about design thinking. Design thinking means I just go to the place where I want. I hope you are all doing it. Right? So you will go to the particular place where you want to do that particular service, and first to see, you call it as a survey, you go see what that place is, who are the people, how many people are there, what are their needs, what is that I can do, if I do something, what is going to happen there, right? So what sort of a service that I can give it to them, is this the only service that I can give, or I can club other services, if I give this service, what benefit will be there? So for giving this service, how much is going to be the money or cash I need? So where is my budget? Right? Of course you are doing it. As I said, I am not saying anything new. That's what you are all been doing it, but you need to do that in a methodical fashion. I am not saying you are not methodical. whatever fashion you are doing, again and again you need to perfect it, right? We need to go for excellence. So excellence means perfection. So perfection comes only as you do. So you do it so many times that you have your own idea, right? So you go to the particular place, get to know what it is, then you come and plan. Don't plan and go there. Go there and plan. Then only you will have your first hand knowledge as to what is happening there. Many times what we are thinking may be wrong. Only after going to the field I come to know, oh my God, I have not seen any of these things, right? Have you encountered any of that? நீங்க இது மாதிரி ஏதாவது பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா? இது நான் யோசிச்சே இல்லையே. So this is, we are actually encountering. It is not that I am talking something in air that you are not doing. You are actually doing. The only thing is that we are trying to put that in a paper, in a plan. If I do that, then there won't be a great problem. There will be a problem. I am not saying that it will be a full proof. You will not have any problem. You will definitely have a problem. But you will have a little problem, lesser problem. So it is an ideal practice for controlling the financial activities of organizations, such as procurement of funds, utilization of funds, accounting, payments, risk assessment, and every other thing related to money. So you need to do these 4 things. You need to plan, you need to organize, you need to control, and most important, you need to monitor, right? You need to see what you are doing, whether it is happening or not. You need to monitor it, right? You may have some weekly meetings, monthly meetings, right? You will see whatever that I have planned, have I done that or not, right? So anything that you measure, அதுதான் பண்ண முடியும். If you don't measure, கடைசியா பார்த்துக்கலாம்னா கடைசியா போக வேண்டியதுதான். You cannot do anything, right? You need to measure now and then. Say every month, let me take stock of what is happening, right? So how much money has come in, how much money that I have, right? Do I have accounts for that, right? So how much work I am supposed to do? Have I done 10% of the work, 20% of the work, right? So today we are talking about dashboard. So dashboard means basically what work that I am supposed to do. So I divide all those work into small activities. That's what is called WBS, work breakdown structure. I break my work, small works, I put that maybe in a board or in a paper or whatever, and I say that I need to run it for say next 1 year. So every month, what is the activity that I want to do? And at the end of the month, I come back and see whatever activity I thought I should do, have I done it? Whatever the budget that I said, have I used my budget? Or is there any overrun on my time, overrun on my budget? Maybe 1 month, whatever I wanted to do, I could not do it. So there is a time overrun. Whatever money, it is called cost overrun. So there will be overruns, normally happens in any project, especially in social projects. Because you do not know about the behavior of the other person, you do not know whether there is a change that is coming there, it is not easy to measure and monitor. So you need to do that. So why I should do that? If I don't do that, one is being accountable to the donors. Donors will ask you, hey, what have you done with my money? You said you are going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have you done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So I need to answer my donors. So for that you should do. I am not reading all of them, right? You will sleep, already half of you are slept. So I am going to the next. Securing future. That's more important, right? I need to secure future. So the present financial condition of any organization determines its future. So this is what in accounting parlance we used to use the word going concern. This company, I want this company to be a going concern. I want this to live, not a gone concern, right? There are companies like Vodafone Idea. Today they are going to shut their shop, right? Because you have Reliance Jio has taken almost everything, all the market. Airtel is there somewhere, it is in air, and BSNL already died. Okay, you have Vodafone Idea, there is no idea, right? So it's bankrupted. It's very, very clear. It's been told, it came in all newspapers. Why a company which was running for 1,76,000 crores, I am not sure about the number, is the debt? 1,76,000 crore. Right? So why a huge company could not run itself? Right? So have MBA படிச்சவங்களே கிடையாதாங்க, பணம் பார்த்ததே கிடையாது அவங்களாம். That is the problem. There are so many companies which are actually, they are in losses. Not because there is no funding. Funding is only one part, right? So what you do with funding is what is more important, right? That's what, all our elders used to say. Of course, I see a lot of elders here also. Elders used to say that what is very important in life is need and not want. There are two things. One is need. There is no limit for need. தேவை அப்படிங்கிறது நம்ம எல்லாத்தையும் எனக்கு வேணும் 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 வேணும்னு சொல்லலாம். ஸோ தட் இஸ் மை வாண்ட். நீட் இஸ் என்னோட குறைந்தபட்ச தேவை, ரைட்? ஐ நீட் ஃபுட், ஐ நீட் ட்ரெஸ், ஐ நீட் ஹோம். பட் இதுலேயே ஐ கேன் ஹாவ் அ வாண்ட். ஐ நீட் ட்ரெஸ், பட் மை ட்ரெஸ் இஸ் காஸ்டிங் 10,000 rupees. I can have that dress also. I can also have a dress at 200 rupees. This is also dress, that is also dress. And whatever it is supposed to do, it is doing it. It has to cover some parts of my body, it will cover some parts of my body. That, as simple as that, right? I need to have shelter. I can have a hut which is costing me 5,000. I can also have a bungalow which will costing me 50 crores. Right? Both are going to have the same purpose only. So as long as I am there within my means, right? So உலகத்துல பணக்காரன் அப்படிங்கிறவன், he is not the person who is having lot of money. பணக்காரங்கிறவன் who is having lesser need. அவனுக்கு தேவைங்கிறது கம்மி. So whatever he is having is more. Right? Are you getting? So this is what the little sense that I get. So you will have funding. Right? It is not that only if you are going to have huge funding it will solve all your problems. It will never solve your problem. Because money is very dangerous. The more money you see, right, it will attract more problems. I am not trying to say that you should not have money. Without money you cannot do anything. But you need to have money which you need, not which you want. So all your activities that you do, that's what financial control is all about. Nothing great. And this is what in US, Europe, everywhere people are talking about. Right? So it's not something great. See, I have some funding, I have 100 rupees. So how do I do? There are so many families which are living with a monthly income of 2,000 rupees. There are so many families which are living. They are also living. There are families which are living at 2 crores per month. That family is also living. Both the families are living. Right? It's not that they died. They can still live at 2,000 rupees. Right? If that is the case, this fellow who is living for 2 crore rupees can also live for 2,000 rupees. The only thing is that he has to scale down. Scale down means what? Don't cut everything. Your attitude must change. You should know that in this particular place, instead of this, can I do something else which will reduce my expense? So that whatever my donor has given, I do within the means and I see surplus. So if I have surplus, then that surplus I can use for next project. But the problem with these people that I said I was doing my PhD, the problem is that if they have any surplus, they will go get the jewel for the wife. They will go get the car. They will go buy a house. Because I have a surplus. Next cycle you don't have money. You will again go to the bank. You will stand there, give me money. So you need to think what you have done with your surplus. So you need to have your accounts very correctly. This is my personal account. This is my office account. I am not supposed to touch my office account for my personal purpose, my personal account for my office purpose. Right? How many of you are having multiple bank accounts? More than one bank account? Most of us are having, right? Most of us are having. Don't we know very clearly which account I will be using for what? This is what is called mental accounting. I know very clearly that if I get this money, this will not go to this account, it will go to the other account. I will touch only that account, not this account. So this you should be very, very, very clear. And most of us are making that problem only. Right? All those people I researched, they are all doing exactly the same problem. Whenever money comes, they will be very, very happy. They will go enjoy. And they will spend all the money. Next day, whenever they want the money, they don't have money. So what do? They have to shut down and go. That's the problem. So eliminating fraud and theft, that is one more. Right? It is very, very prevalent today. So wherever you go, there is a fraud, there is a theft. So only if you control your money, this fraud and theft you can control, otherwise you cannot control. Making productive decisions, because I know very clearly that whatever is the resource I have, I need to allocate only with what I have. So I know very clearly where my money is going, so it will be very productive. My decision otherwise will not be productive. As I said, I will go buy car. It's not a productive decision. Maybe I will be happy if I have the car, but it is not serving the purpose. That's why every banker today, whenever you go for any bank loan, he will ask you whatever the funding that is being done, is it being used for that particular purpose for which you got the funding? Because there are a lot of fund diversions. I will take bank loan for one purpose. I will use it to buy my house. I will say, when it comes, I will look at it. Right? It will never come. Right? So you go into the problem. So you must be very clear as to what for you are having this money, what are you going to do with this money. So if you are and it's very simple. As I said, I am not saying anything new to you. All of you know this. But if I have to put that in practice, then it will solve a lot of problems for us. Then achieving objectives, I already spoke about. Enhancing credibility, that's more important, right? That's what in morning also they said, you need to enhance the credibility. So because for a funding agency, if they trust you, so there was a researcher, not a researcher, he was actually a government servant, I think in Australia. He is called Sir Adrian Cadbury, right? It's not Cadbury chocolate. His name is Adrian Cadbury. He said, money will flow to the place where you have trust. If somebody is trusting you, any donor is trusting you, even if you don't ask for money, he will pour the money on you. But you need to show that to him. You need to win his confidence. You need to win his trust. Right? For that, what is that I do? So whatever we do, if we do methodically, that itself will solve a lot of problems. So many times business is madness. But the only thing is that you need to have method in the madness. Paithiyama irundhalum correcta paithiyama irukkum. There should be a method in the madness, right? Whatever you do, let us do it pakka. Otherwise, let me not do it. Strengthening fundraising effort. So most of the NGOs solely survive on its funds, right? All of you. Well organized financial resources help in strengthening fundraising efforts by giving an overall idea about available finance and the amount of finance that needs to be accumulated. Only if you have this in control, you know where you are going. Otherwise, there is no point. But how do I do it? I need to have something called as a financial policy, right? Let me not spend a lot of time on this, because I hope you are already having financial. Don't you have financial policies in your companies, in your NGOs? You have financial policy, right? Of course, I will tell you what I mean by financial policy so that you can cross check whether you are having it or not. One is, of course, it takes some time for you to develop a financial policy, right? Scientifically. You already have. This is what we call as a back of the envelope. Back of the envelope, which means that I have a very small paper, one side paper. I will use the other side paper to jot down my ideas. That's what is called back of the envelope. So all our plans are like that. But if I am going to have a plan which is a pakka plan, which means that I brought in every element that is possible, then it will actually, solve many of my problems. So it says assessing the need. So the very first step in making the policy is to understand the purpose. Why are you there? That's the first question you should ask yourself. Why this NGO is there? Why this CSO is there? Why are you there? What is that you want to do? If you are clear with this question, then you will be very clear with your entire effort. It is more of our life only, right? Why I am there? There are so many people born in this world. I also born. Is that the only thing that I have? No, I say, no, I am here because 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I know what for I am there, this 1, 2, 3, 4, I know the purpose. I am here for this purpose. So whatever I do, I will see whether it is syncing with whatever I am talking about. Otherwise, I am also 10 plus 1. There is no use. So first is assess the need. The very first step is to understand its purpose. NGOs need to address specific needs or objectives while making financial policy. You need to be very, very specific. This is what I want to do. Of course, this itself is a great exercise. We might think it's a very small thing. It is actually not very small, right? It's very, very great thing. So we used to call, smart goals. The goals need to be smart, specific, measurable, right? You have a lot of things. Identify the key roles and responsibilities. So once you know that, then you need to have the key roles. Who will do what, right? So key members are designated in their respective positions, right? You know that he is responsible for that, because there will be some people who will be working for you. Do you have a manual written stating that X, he will do this job, that is his responsibility. Y, he will do this job, that is his responsibility, right? Most of us don't have. We will use the same person to get the tea also, we use that same person to write accounts also, right? But which is not very, very clear. So it must be very clear, right? What is the responsibility of whom, right? As a owner, what is my responsibility, right? As a manager, what is his responsibility? As an accountant, what is his responsibility? So what are the roles and responsibilities, and whether he or she is doing that, right? So that is about your monitoring. If not doing, what do you do with him or her? That is about your control, right? All of them will follow. Then gather the information, right? So you will need a lot of information related to financial resources. So what are all the resources that you already have, okay? And what are the assets that you have, right? We know what are assets that you have, and other available sources of financial data. So whatever data, then you gather all of them, then you draft the policy, right? So this is what my manual, this is what is my policy. So this is what I am going to do in my NGO. So whenever money comes, I am going to use for this particular purpose, because my NGO is for that particular purpose. Many times, just because I am getting money, I will do which is not related to me. I want to do one service, I am good at one service, but I will end up doing some other service because I am getting money, right? So which means that I don't have any direction at all. So I want to do whatever, right? So like a dancer, wherever whoever gives me money, I will go dance there, okay? So, but I am very clear what I am. I will do only this. Even if money comes, I won't touch it, because that's not my core competency, that's not my area at all. So I must be very clear why I am here, what I am trying to do, and in that space alone I will do that. Then only I will become a specialist in that particular area. Then consulting with appropriate stakeholders. Stakeholder here means all the people, right? Whoever is giving you money, right? Whoever is the end user, right? All the people, and even the bank, right? If bank gives you money, bank, all the people put together is what is called a stakeholder. So you consult with the appropriate stakeholders to see whether the policy of return is that right, or you want to change anything, or is that anything that I have missed out, right? Many times we miss out a lot of things. Finalize, then consider for other procedures, then you implement, monitor, review, right? So this is a process. So once you have the policy with you, so financial management, as I said, as you said, it's about all these four, right? So planning, organizing, monitoring, controlling, and monitoring. So these are the four things that financial management will do. So that our financial resources will achieve whatever the purpose for which, as he rightly said, for whatever the purpose it is for, whether it is achieving that purpose or not, is what my financial management should do. So one way to think about financial management is like maintenance of a car. Normally we don't maintain the car. I just take every day, I rode, I came back, every night it is happening. But over a period of time, if I am not going to maintain my car, obviously on one day I will be on the street, I will be on the road, right? My car will go down. Similarly, any organization, if you are not taking care of your finances properly, one day or the other it will stop. So it is better that you service, like you are doing servicing to the car, it is better that every month, in companies they call every quarter, once in 3 months. Once in 3 months, please sit with your accountant and try to understand what is happening, right? How much money came in, how much money is still there with you, right? How much money has gone, have you spent more than what you are supposed to spend, right? All these things you will get to know only if you sit and talk, right? Otherwise, at the end of the project, it will be useless. So, but if we neglect it, the car will break down and will not reach its intended destination. So, financial control is at the heart of financial management. So, you need to control your finances, right? That is very important. So that money is used properly. Anyway, we are going to use money, but am I using it properly for whatever the purpose? Assets are kept safe. I don't know whether my asset is there or not otherwise, right? If I don't see, that's why people normally use, whenever you have any inventory, you will go and it's called stock taking. You will go and take stock of whether it is there or not, right? Many times we don't know what we have. Staff are protected, right? And managers can sleep soundly, right? So for that you need to have control over your finances. Of course, this is a simple project cycle, but it is not simple in reality. Cycle is very simple, right? There are only three things: you plan, you do, you review. As simple as that. But it is not simple in real life. So see if you can write down the equivalent of each stage in financial terms. Can you write in each stage financial terms? Plan, do, review. What is that equivalent in financial terms? Plan, what you do in finance? Budgeting, great. Plan is budget, okay. Do? Okay, activities that you are implementing. Review? Monitoring, okay. So in finance terms, plan means, as you said, set the budget, budget. Do means you receive and spend project funds. That's what you do. Review means you monitor your budget. Whatever the budget that you wrote, you need to monitor it. Build in learning and take action. So which it's more like a feedback. Whatever the learning I have, I take it to the next cycle. So this is what is called a financial planning life cycle. So you need to have financial planning. There are two risks that we take. One is internal risk from within, which we can do something about. Second is external risks from outside, so it is beyond your control, you cannot do anything. So these are the two risks that you need to take. So financial risk poses a threat to our financial resources. So write down one internal and one external risk facing your organization. Can you try? Can you think? Though you are not writing, I have seen. Can you at least think one internal risk and one external risk for your NGO, for whatever you are running? Is there any internal risk that you have? Yeah. So all of us are having risk. As I walk, there is a risk. I really do not know, right? There is a risk. There is always risk everywhere. But it doesn't mean that I always have, full of Iron Man mari po mudiyadhu, right? So you need to protect yourself, but at the same time we need to know that these are all the risks that are there. At least if I know there are the risks, then I will be taking extra care. Otherwise I will not care, right? I won't even see whether there is some water which is spilt here, I don't know. I just go, then abde odavendidam. So you need to know at least what are the risks that you are taking. So that's more important. So typical risk for NGOs when you talk about internal is theft, fraud, fire, accidental damage. These are all the things. External risk is exchange rate loss. Of course today no money is coming from abroad, that is different. When money comes, then there is an exchange loss. Then you have donors withdrawing funds, okay, inflation. So you don't have control on them. So but you need to at least know whether I can control it or not. At least I need to know that there is a risk. I know that I am going to die. It's not that I am going to die today, but there is a risk. Risk is not for me, for whoever is going to depend on me. I will just go, right? Whoever is depending on me, there is a risk only for them. So I should at least know that there is a risk, right? So that whatever I do, I am doubly careful in what I am doing. So the key to good practice is, in financial management, you need to have robust systems, which means that you need to have systems in place, right? Even if the accountant is having some problem, personal problem, if you have a system in place, I know this is how it is being done, right? System, I am not saying computer system. System means the way that it is being done. So if it is known to you, right, so in that case, at least for some days, some instances, you need not depend on somebody if I know what it is, right. So you need to now develop that. So if that fellow is not there, then what is that I should do, right. I hope you would have done it. By experience you would have done it. But here as a system I am building it, so that though I am prone to all those risks, I at least cover my risk to some extent. So you need to have systems in place. So if you have that systems, what is that you should have? There are 4 things that you should have. What are they? Number 1, you need to have accounting records. So do you have proper accounting records? So do you have journal? Do you have ledger? Today people are going for computers, right? So say Tally. But somebody should know Tally, and he has to input it properly, because all these systems, they are all GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. Kupaya pota, kupada varum. So whenever I enter the data, I need to enter the data correctly. If I enter the data wrongly, it will obviously give me only wrong. So it is not that just because I have Tally, I can sleep. Tally will there, but whether the money you are having is tallying or not, you don't know. So you must be very clear as to who is the person who is giving the data to the system. Whether he is making any mistake, that you should be in a position to find out. If you do not know that, then nobody can save you. So one is book of accounts you should have. That is the summary of records that you should have at least. Supporting documents you should have. So people say that I have spent 200 rupees, you have to ask where is the bill. GST, bill lang kadayadu. At least you have to write in a piece of paper, right? And there must be some mechanism, right? Some mechanism by which I say that I have spent. Otherwise, how do I? That's what all your donors will ask you. You need to submit all the records. Yes, sir. Yeah, anything. Supporting documents can be anything, right? Today, all of us are taking selfie. Let me take selfie with that person. He is giving me, I'll take a selfie, right? It can also be a record. But whether the record will be accepted or not, we don't know, right? But you need to have record. So that's one. Number 2, planning itself, right? So there should be budgets for operations. So you need to have cash budget. If there is a purchase, you need to have purchase budgets. Wherever there are activities, it's always better that you have budget. And we have budget for our own home, right? Are we not having budget? Yeah, we have. But many of us are having budget only mentally. How many of us are having written budget for our own homes? Are we having? Only one is having. You are having 3, 4, 5. Others we don't have, right? I have, because I am teaching that. It's not nice if I myself is not doing it. Very good, sir. That's a control system. Right? Monitoring and control. There is also for me, I have both, not only control, monitoring also. Right? If I said I am coming to Jnanam School of Business, I must come here. I should not go somewhere else. Monitoring as well as control. Right? You need to have that. Right? Otherwise, I really don't know where I am going. Right? Because I have lot of needs, lot of wants. Whatever I see, I'll see a store, I'll go in, I'll purchase whatever I want. So as long as you have that monitoring, then to some extent you can be happy that this is what I am doing and it is going in the right direction. Otherwise, there will be a problem. And second is financing strategies for long-term planning. There are 2 things that we talk about. One is near term, short term. In this month, whatever money I want, I should have. Second is long term. Next 2 years, next 3 years, next 5 years. So I also need long range planning. I also need short range planning, right? And that long range planning can be divided or broken down into smaller pieces, and I can bring with my monthly planning, right? So it actually helps the people. One is monitoring. So one is planning, next is monitoring. Financial statements for external accountability, and this is where we are talking about balance sheet. This is where we are talking about income and expenditure statements, right? About that we will see in the afternoon after the lunch. I think it's almost lunch time. So budget monitoring reports for internal review. So you have both. For external review also I should give, for internal review also I should have. So this is the third one. And the fourth one is internal control. That's where whatever the policy that we spoke about is going to be helpful. So as per the policy, whether I am doing it or not, I need to have the connect. If I am not doing as per the policy, then na vera edo pannittu irukken artham. Right? It has to be as per the policy. And whatever the procedures, because we need to have a procedure. If there is a purchase, right? Of course, it's in bigger companies. You will have a mechanism. This is how purchases 3 kotu vaangano. I need to look at what the quality of those products, at what time it will be delivered, at what cost it will be delivered, right? All those things are very important, right? So you need to have a procedure for anything. Then checks and balances. So once you have this checks and balances, then you can rest assured that nothing great will happen. But still you have a lot of risk, but nothing great will happen.